Hey guys, today we will be looking at all of my pickups for the month of September 2021. So let's take a look what I got. First few games that I'll go over here, these are all like my PS5 games that I got through the month, and most of you guys seem to like really enjoy some PS5 pickups here, especially, related to my first video, how popular that is. So first, first thing I'll show you, this is probably my favorite game that I've gotten of the whole lot here. Death Stranding, a director's cut. Death Stranding, we all know this is Kojima's first game that he has made since abandoning Konami, thank God. And I do believe, this game is really, really good, despite of like the mixed reception that it's gotten from fans. But nowadays, people have really grown to really like this game overall for the most part, it seems. I have gotten the collector's edition for the game on PS4 as well as the PC version, but I have not beaten this game yet. But I have gotten further into it with this version here, so I am like hopefully looking to like finally beat this game here pretty soon because Kojima, he is my favorite video game director out there. He made my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid. So anything he makes, like I fully support everything that he does. This next one here, this is one that I ordered. I can't remember the site it was called here, but it is called Kitari Fables. It did come with this a set of like a pin and some postcards in here as well. This game appears to be, it seems to be like a management type game, very similar to like Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. I don't know if this was released on any other platforms. I think it has been, but if you're interested in, management games like the ones I mentioned, they're like maybe look into this one here. Next game, this is a Japanese import here that I got from Play Asia, and my intention with getting this was at the time this game was like the only Japanese exclusive PS5 game, but I think I did recently see a listing for, I think, either a US release or a European version. In this game, it's called a Yuani. This is it's a survival horror game, and it seems to be like one of those walking simulator type horror games where you're just going through corridors and you're being chased after like a certain creature and you just can't fight back, like your Outlasts and your Slenders, those type of games that I swear are like really overused these days. Honestly, for what I looked in this game, it doesn't look very good, and some of the reception I've seen of it seems to be the case as well. But nonetheless, at the time, I wanted to get this because it was like a Japanese exclusive physical release for the game. This next one I got from Play Asia as well, and this appears to be like a really good Metroidvania game that I hope this this has a PC release because I kind of want to keep this sealed because this game, at least this packaging, is kind of unique. It's called Fist. Fist it's an acronym. It's Forged in Shadow Torch. Like I said, this is a Metroidvania game where you play as like this rabbit who seems to get like this mechanical suit that like gives him all sorts of like buffed up powers and all that. But what really threw me off with this game here, I don't know if you guys like, you probably noticed it, but do you notice anything off with this box art here? In case you haven't noticed, there's no age rating in the corner here in the lower left or anywhere on the back of the packaging or anywhere here. I don't know if this was a misprint or somehow they got past without having to go through ESRB, PEGI, or Zero age rating systems, but if you guys have this game here, let me know if yours came in like this, if this is just a misprint or this is just how the game was released. This next one I got for a pretty good price that I really wanted to get this for a while, but I just wanted for it to wait to come down a little bit. That's Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. this is a launch title for the PS5, and I'm really glad to that I have picked this up. I've been meaning to jump into the Devil May Cry series for a while. I did get the Devil May Cry HD collection, which I'll be showing in a different video of a separate store that I went to earlier this month that I got more stuff in there that I couldn't fit in this one video, or else it would be pretty long for you guys. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm really happy to have this game here. This is one of the very few launch titles for the PS5 that I have yet to get. This next few games here, these are ones that I got from Gamestop earlier this month, mainly because they were really cheap, and also one I could only get from the store. But first one is The Impatient. This is a VR survival horror game, and it seems to be similar to, from what it seems like, Until Dawn, where you can make certain choices that will dictate certain things that'll happen within the story. But hopefully, if that is what it is, hopefully it's one where like your choices do actually matter, to where like if you recall in Until Dawn, choices you made did dictate where certain characters would live or die in that game, or it's even possible to like have every single character die in that game. So hopefully this game does have some that'll like live up to something like that. And plus another reason I got it, supposedly this is only a PS4 game and it's a VR game as well. And I want to try and collect most PlayStation VR physical titles, especially ones that have never gotten PC releases. I do have a Valve Index, but I don't actually have a PlayStation VR. But nonetheless, I do want to try and collect most PlayStation VR titles, because I do plan on getting the whatever the next PlayStation VR headset is going to be for the PS5, and hopefully, I'm sure it will, but by then, for like my collection of PlayStation VR titles, like I'll have a big catalog to play right there. This one right here, this in the States is exclusive to GameStop, and really happy to have this because this is a pretty cool release. Doom 3 VR Edition. So this is exclusive to GameStop in the States physically, at least. But from what I understand, it's not like a Doom VFR. This is the entirety of Doom 3 in VR. Like you play for like the first person perspective, you're playing it with VR, obviously, and it's just the full original game of Doom 3. That honestly is really awesome, and that would probably make playing this game like pretty creepy, because Doom 3 is kind of like a black sheep of the series, to where instead of like with the more recent Doom games and like the original Doom 1, they were like really fast-paced action type shooters, and Doom 3 like took it into like a survival horror type route. But it was still a great game, but it was a little off-putting for like looking at the series as a whole. But even with the non-VR edition, I still say you have to play Doom 3. It's a very, very good game, that just because it's like not similar to the other games, that doesn't change the fact like the game is still really, really good overall. This last one that I got from GameStop this month here is a Wii U game called Rayman Legends. Now, if you guys know some history of this game, this originally was supposed to be exclusive to the Wii U back then, but due to the poor sales of Zombie U, Ubisoft decided, like, oh, because that game sold so poorly on the Wii U, we're going to delay Rayman Legends at the time, and we're also going to port it to like every single system out there for like the PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and later on they also ported it to the Switch as well many years later. It's kind of like funny looking back at that. That was originally supposed to be a Wii U only game, but that definitely didn't change. And their reasoning behind it, though, because of the sales of Zombie U, was stupid. So you ask me, Zombie U is not a good game at all, and they dictated the performance of that game to affect this one right here. Overall, though, this Rayman game, I'm not too much of a fan of it, honestly, and this is the last one we've gotten, and it's been like 2014, I think, is when this released, and we have not had a Rayman game since then. I hope Ubisoft eventually comes back to it, which doesn't seem to be the case for like the direction the company seems to be going with most of their franchises, that Rayman's just not a good fit for their current business strategy. But thank God Rayman Redemption that came out recently did fill that void. But to have an official one come from Ubisoft, I hope that's soon, but I'm not counting on it though. So these next few games right here, I took a trip earlier this month to an arcade game in Petoskey, Michigan. I did talk about them a little bit in one of my previous pickups videos. Just to like, 'cause it was like a some time since I've been up there, and I just want to like do another visit and get some titles there, and I got a couple of them right here. First one, this is probably my favorite one that I got. Metal Gear Solid VR missions. This is a really, really nice copy here that even like the owner like pointed out how like the cover art was such in good condition, and it was like and I basically responded like, yeah, and I am taking that because I am the most die-hard Metal Gear fan out there, at least in this area probably, that I am definitely going to get this copy here. It's kind of like surprised, like I didn't have this for a while, and this is nothing but like a set of mini games of like the VR missions mini game in like the original Metal Gear Solid that was only like 10 missions you could do, but this one just has like way more than that though. And so far I played of it, like they all been pretty fun and like expanded a lot on some that I never expected them to. Next one is Twisted Metal 3. Now, of all like the Twisted Metal games for like the PS1, this one probably gets the most hate from the fan base, and personally, I don't feel that much towards it. Like the only thing I really dislike for this game, and that everyone else does, is the characters and like the cutscenes they did for this game. Like compared to like the previous two games before this, 1 and 2. They completely ruined the characters so badly that the endings are atrocious, and even the cutscenes are so awkward to watch. Like even back then, they were not that good. But gameplay-wise, I don't think this is the worst of the PS1 games. Personally, I don't like Twisted Metal 1. I honestly much rather play this over 1. Twisted Metal 2 will forever be the best one. But as like a big fan of the whole series, I still wanted to pick this up here so I can like one day have every single game in the series. I think now I only need to get the Twisted Metal Head-On for the PS2 and the long box copy of Twisted Metal 1, and there I'll have like pretty much every game in the series right there. Oh, except for the PS2, the Twisted Metal Black Online disc. That is really cheap to get. Someday I'll get it when I do randomly just decide like picking up, and there I'll have the entire series. Next one, here's a pretty nice one to get. Final Fantasy 1 for the PSP. I have been like trying to pick up the majority of the Final Fantasy titles, like the main series across multiple platforms, because I absolutely love this series here, and really happy to have found this at Arcade and Game here. It's a pretty good condition copy overall too, so yeah, happy to have this for the Final Fantasy collection. And the last one I got is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. This game is has quite an interesting story throughout the years, you could say, that in the future is like a little teaser for you guys. I do plan on making a video about this game later on in November, because little spoiler warning in case you guys didn't know, in November this game is going to be 20 years old. And if you've played this game and you've looked into like the stuff of like what it predicted and all that, it's really scary looking back at this game here and knowing that it came out in 2001. So do look forward to the video that I do plan on making. It's going to be a documentary type video that I want to make it as, so I'm really hyped to like pretty soon. I'll start working on it pretty soon. So most of the rest of this stuff here is just stuff that just came in the mail that I ordered online through eBay, or just stuff on pre-ordered for a while. So, and majority of it is PS3 stuff, you could probably tell here, and I can tell you most of it really, really good stuff here. So first one is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 2. This is a sealed copy here, and the Legend of Heroes series is an RPG series that I have been wanting to like give a shot on, because I hear amazing stuff about this series for like some other channels that I follow on YouTube, but they've like had nothing but good praise for this series here. And thankfully on PC, they at least when I make this video, they got like a sale going on at Exceedus Games. They're having like a sale through like most of their published games on Steam, and Legend of Hero games are one of those, of course, that I did pick up some of the games on there, which is where I plan on playing the series here when I do eventually sit down and play it. This next one is BioShock. This certain version of it is kind of interesting, because this is the only copy of like or version of BioShock that has like this little slip cover over it. It's literally just like the cover in the back is like the same as like the case here, and then again, it's the only release that had it like this here. But what else can I say about BioShock? It's definitely a modern classic. It's like what most people bring up as like a work of art for video games, and still to this day very much worth playing. But do play like the re-releases that came out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC as well. The PC version's kind of buggy, but nonetheless, if you haven't played BioShock, you love single-player games and first-person shooters that have like some depth to it, you owe it to yourself to play BioShock. Like after you're done watching this video, like go play BioShock if you haven't already. It's amazing. Though personally, I think System Shock 2 is a much better game, but hey, we'll save that for another time. Next one is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1. This is a collector's edition. It's called, what was this one called? I think it's called the Lionheart edition, this one is. So it comes with like a standard copy of the game, a multi-page art book, as well as like a big like piece of paper with that has like some art along with a pin on it, it seems. This I got for like a really good price. So like I was really surprised with how cheap this was, and just been getting in the field to like pretty soon I'll try out this series here pretty soon. When I saw this on eBay, it's like, dude, this is really cheap, honestly, that I'll gladly pick it up. Apparently on like the very back here, it says that it has room that you can fit the game's sequel inside of here. So like I guess like Cold Steel 2, like apparently it'll fit in here. I find that hard to believe, but hey, that's what they say on the back here. This next one here, really happy to have this. I did get this cheaper than what it normally goes for nowadays, so I'm really happy with the price that I paid for it. And this one, it's Splatterhouse. This is like one of the couple games that when the PS3 like started getting a bunch of attention earlier this year, this just so happened to be like some of the games that just like more than tripled in value. Though I think Splatterhouse here was like going up somewhat in price earlier, and it's just now it's just gotten to like where it is like now, with how kind of a little bit expensive it is. I'm really happy to have this, though Splatterhouse has been like a series I've wanted to try out one of these days. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think some of like the original older Splatterhouse games, I think they're on this release here as like a secret unlock or something like that. So if you, in hindsight, if you want to get like those games like officially, this still might be like the cheapest way to like get to experience those games officially, at least. So yeah, that's that. Very happy to have it. This next one here, this is a pretty like common PS3 game. It's like an early exclusive for the system that most people do know. Heavenly Sword. This, if I recall, it's made by Ninja Theory, and it's a hack and slash type game. I want to say maybe similar to God of War, possibly, as like it was like a different like universe, but gameplay seems similar to God of War. I do know this was one of like the very early PS3 exclusives, and to this day it's still exclusive to the PS3. and it's still like a really cheap game too. It has came up a little bit since the PS3 was getting all of the attention from the whole gaming community once again, but still a very affordable title that's still very worth playing today. This next one here, so if you, this is just a shout out to like some people that have commented me, that when I talked to, I think it's my one PS3 recommendation video, I did mention how that I think I had like the Jak and Daxter HD collection and the Ratchet and Clank collection, but like a lot of people like kept on commenting me, is like, oh, hey, that's cool that you got those, but where's this collection here? Dude, you seriously don't have that? It's like, I'm sorry. Just this one in particular, kind of similar to previous titles there, they just like shot up in price for the last few months, but now it finally got to a price point like I'm comfortable paying with it, like came down to like what I definitely wanted to like pay and not go overboard with it. And in case you guys haven't guessed it yet, that's the Sly collection. So Sly collection, this has the original Sly Cooper and the Thievis Raccoons, Sly 2 Band of Thieves, and Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves. So those are the original 3 PS2 games that they've remastered in HD here, and they do have supposedly like exclusive levels or modes, missions, whatever, for that use the PlayStation Move here, if you guys don't care for that stuff. But you know, this is one that I wanted to get for some time, but just didn't care to like get it for a while due to like the prices for it throughout the last few months. And so I'm very happy to have that. And to some of those people that were commenting me about that, I kind of did already have that game. I got the Vita version of it, if that counts at all for that, but yeah, finally now just bit the bullet to get the PS3 version there. This next one here is Persona 4 Arena. Persona 4 Arena, this is a, it's kind of like a sequel to the events that take place after Persona 4 or Persona 4 Gold, whichever you want to say. I want to say it's like a few years after the events of that game, that it's basically like a fighting game, and some characters from Persona 3 are in this game as well here. Anything Atlas, and especially Persona related, I want to pick up instantly here. I do have the arguably the better version of this, which is Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and unfortunately that game is like close to $100 game now, that I thank my friend a lot for like years ago for selling that game to me back then for like much lower than what it goes for now. But yeah, happy to have this though regardless. These next 3 here, I got these really cheap here, but these are all just like box variants of it though that I wanted to get it, and plus I really do like this game a lot. That's Terraria. So this one here, it's a digital copy inside of this this case, which is sealed here, as you can see. It's only like a digital code, which looking inside of it, it looks like they have like a printed disc inside of the spindle here, and that probably has the code on it here. So yeah, this was like, God, like $4 or $5, I think it was. But because I do want to have a disc, I got one that does have a disc on it here. So yeah, it's just the same exact game, Terraria, similar box art in a way, but this one, it actually does have a disc here, as you can see. Well, that one's just a digital code here that's sealed. So, yep, that's that. But that's not all. I also got the collector's edition as well here, and this is a sealed copy as well. And surprisingly, this is like still very cheap, despite this being a number 4,374 of 15,000 units printed of this collector's edition. Yeah, it's not expensive by any means here, but nonetheless, I really wanted to pick this up because I'm a huge fan of Terraria overall. That I much prefer it over Minecraft personally because of basically all like the boss fights, and I'm a more fan of like 2D games overall too. So Terraria just appealed to me much more. But yeah, all this stuff here, it was really cheap. Hence why I got like like 3 copies of the same game right there, but nonetheless, it was really cool to have these. What's really strange here, I forgot to mention, there's a difference for the spines here between the digital and the disc version here. The one that's all white here, this is the digital version, and this here with the actual like logo is the one with the disc here. So what, did they expect like people that buy the digital version here, like after they redeemed it online, that they would just toss the disc out or something like that? I thought that was pretty weird there, but anyways, moving on. Next one here is a pretty good one to get here, and I do expect this to, when the PS3 stores do eventually start to shut down, when they announce that, guarantee this game is going to shoot up in price once again. That's the Best of PlayStation Network Volume 1. They never made a Volume 2 for some reason. So this release here, it has When Vikings Attack, Sound Shapes, Tokyo Jungle, and Fat Princess. So originally all 4 of these games here, they only had like PSN releases on the PS3, and still to this day, all 4 of these games are exclusive to the PS3. No, oh wait, no, Sound Shapes is on the Vita, I think the PS4 as well. I could be wrong on a PS4 version, but the other ones, though, the other 3, they still have not been ported to any other platform, though, so once the PS3 store goes down, the only way that you can get the 3 games here, not Sound Shapes, is you'll have to get this disc here. Originally, when the PS3, Vita, and PSP stores were going to shut down, this game did shoot up in price quite a lot to like past $100 it was selling for. But when the stores were going to stay open, though, for the PS3 and Vita, this game did drop down, but still somewhat expensive though. But I do guarantee, though, in the future when the PS3 stores are going to officially shut down, pretty sure this is going to become valuable once again. So this next one here, this is Silent Hill Homecoming. This is a sealed copy right here. Not the best Silent Hill game in the series by any means, but this is still one that is relatively very affordable still. Even a sealed copy is still very affordable for this game. Primary reason for buying this, like, I do want to own every single Silent Hill game there is, at least for like PlayStation versions, though Shattered Memories on PS2, like, that is far out of my reach for how expensive that version is. Like, I'll stick with the Wii version that I have, but yeah, this is just like one of the few that I have yet to get. With this, I now only have to get 1, 3, and The Room. Fortunately, still, those games are incredibly expensive, that I am not paying for what they go for until hopefully the bubble bursts, when they finally just come back down in price. Next game, Bound by Flame. I do remember like hearing of this game for a while back then, but I don't remember what type of game it is. I want to say this is very similar to like Diablo, like it's an overhead view. It's like RPG dungeon crawler type game. Could be wrong on that, but if you guys can correct me in the comments for like what type of game that is. Next one is Dead or Alive 5. This is a sealed copy right here. This was like a relatively cheap game to get, even for like a sealed game. It's still very cheap overall. I do know Dead or Alive 5, there is like an Ultimate Edition on the PS3 here, that maybe I'll pick that up if I do care to like play the game, then I'll rather get like the Ultimate Edition if it doesn't have like any expired DLC codes, hopefully. This next one is probably my favorite game that I got for the PS3 here amongst all the stuff here this month. That is Nier. Nier, if you're unfamiliar, this is the predecessor to Nier Automata. This game did get like a remaster, remake earlier this year called Nier Replicant 1.2 to a whole bunch of numbers. What's interesting with the original release, when it came to the North American version right here, the main character is the guy you see on the front cover there. He's like a big, like older, tough-looking guy right there. But when you look at the Japanese release of this same game, which is called Nier Replicant, and like the remake that came out earlier this year is called Near Replicant Set of Numbers. The main character is a much younger looking guy. Like for like the North American release, the guy here, he's like a father for the other main female lead, and I think in Replicant, he is, I want to say he is like the brother of the female lead. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's the case here. So yeah, that was pretty interesting that I recently learned about that when I originally picked this up here, so I didn't know that, that I may consider getting the Japanese release here because it's a completely different box art and kind of like a different version of the game, only when it comes down to like main the main male character here, that there is some changes with the story from what I understand as well, but nonetheless, I wanted to get the original release here because games that Yoko Taro's like made, that I finally been playing some of his games lately. Like I really like the stuff that he has made, that I want to play through like all of his games. Last stack here, this is another one I'm really happy to get for the Final Fantasy collection, that I think now with this I have every PSP Final Fantasy game. This one, it's Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. This is a like a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics on the PlayStation 1. This has more, I'm pretty sure this has more story missions in it. It does have hand-drawn FMV cutscenes that still look really beautiful to this day. But one thing that I'm not a fan of with this version, though, is the gameplay. It's a little bit slower compared to the original PS1 version. Some of the sound is like also different in this version, that personally I prefer the PS1 version of it. But this is still a really affordable version of the game, though. If you want to get the PlayStation version, it's fairly expensive nowadays, like pretty much like the cost of a brand new game today. But nonetheless, wanted to pick this up here because just try to complete Final Fantasy collection pretty much. Next one, this is really cool to have for me. This is a sealed copy of Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops Plus. As big of a Metal Gear fan I still have not played Portable Ops or this game right here. This, from what I've looked into it, correct me if I'm wrong on this, and I feel dumb for being a big Metal Gear fan, but I think this game, it's supposed to have, like, add additional missions for the original Portable Ops. I could be dead wrong on that, unless if it's, like, the same game, just with more content in it. But nonetheless, I wanted to pick this up because Metal Gear is my favorite series, and it's having a sealed game of the series, that's really cool to me. This next one here is kind of an infamous game here, but I wanted to pick this up because this game has kind of went up in price but has come down a little bit since then. That's Alone in the Dark Inferno. If you know stuff about this game is not good at all by any means. It's a survival horror game. This game is god-awful. This wasn't like the start when like Alone in the Dark, where just like many games like since a certain title, like all of them have just been terrible games overall, that the series is now like a shell of its former self right now. And this game was one that was very notorious back then, where gameplay's bad, voice acting is terrible. I think the story was also really dumb as well. But I wanted to get this though because for like the weird price hike this game had recently, and has come down a little bit. So like, let me pick it up before it gets more expensive in the future. And then last one here, this was, I got this from like a bid on eBay, and I'm pretty sure I was the only bidder for this item right here. This is Disgaea for a Promise Unforgotten. Disgaea is another RPG series that I think I mentioned in my previous videos. Like, when I do have the times, like, I'll sit down and play through this series one of these days. But this is like obviously a collector's edition type thing that I got, as you can see, and it's sealed too. It is like a shrink wrap seal, but it's still, I'm pretty sure this is how it originally came as though. So pretty cool that I got this really, really cheap, and really happy to have that, as well as for being a sealed copy too. So yeah, that is everything I got throughout the month here. Appreciate if you guys rate this video, share it with your friends, comment below of like what your favorite thing was or what you guys got throughout this month. So do subscribe for more content like this in the future. Until then, guys, see you next time.